y'all, it's Lissa, aka Bangs and Glasses. I'm back with a layout share for February. Happy March, everyone. It is March 1st as I'm filming this, and I am super excited for this month because it's my son's first birthday month this March. So, very exciting things happening in my family. But I did want to share my layouts from February with you all, and I made some great progress again this month in getting some layouts done. Thanks in large part to Follow a Sketch February, which I have the sketches printed out and I'll show you which ones they go with. I did not complete all the layouts for that series. I got done with about like 10 of them, but still they really helped me get some layouts done this past month. So for February, remember my goals for this year. My goal for each month is to make sure I'm using washi at least once, mixed media, and a shaker on a layout. I also want to make sure I'm doing at least one video a month and complete 10 layouts a month. And I'm happy to share that I have completed all those goals again for this month. So let's get into the layouts. So this layout is called Good Cheer, and you can see it's a kind of Christmassy themed layout. This is me doing some like Christmas shopping in November of 2020. So this layout, I did use a sketch from Follow a Sketch February. This was from day one. So this is what it looked like here. So I followed the sketch pretty closely. I just kind of reversed the way things were facing. I used a pre-made Vicky Bouton mixed media background here, and I used some Simple Story Mix and Mingle. This layout, I was just doing some shopping out at the At Home store, and they had so many colorful Christmas trees that I thought looked super cool, so I had to take some pictures with that. And they had an inflatable Buddy the Elf, which I thought was so funny. That's my favorite Christmas movie, so I had to get a picture with him as well. So this layout is very like photo heavy, and then just like some little ephemera bits around the photos. But yeah, I really like how this turned out. I wanted to bring out a lot of the teal from this tree. I loved the color of this tree, so I tried to use a lot of the teal elements on this page. Next, this layout is also using a sketch from Follow a Sketch February. I just kind of turned it this way and I moved this part up and made it a photo. So this layout is called Better Together, and it's using Pink Paisley Whimsical, which is a collection I'm trying to focus on killing off. I've had that in my stash for a while, but I tend not to reach for it, so wanted to use some of that here. I also used some stickers from Hobby Lobby and Amy Tan. I also got some washi on this page, and again, just using that sketch helped a lot. And this scallop is some circles that I cut in half to make this scallop shape here. So I'm really happy with how that turned out as well, using a lot of different colors. These photos are just documenting the first time we had gone back to the mall since COVID. So this was in September of 2020. So we had gone out to the mall and just like looked super different. Everything was very spread out, like in the food court and things like that. There was a rainbow that I saw, and then later that evening we went out to eat somewhere. So yeah, it's kind of just documenting a day in the life of me and my husband on a weekend. And I got to use these clear stickers on here, which are kind of tricky to use, but we definitely got mall pizza and a soda, so that worked perfectly. Next, this is called Just Love, and it's also using a sketch from Follow a Sketch February. This is day 3. So I followed that pretty closely. I just did 4 photos instead of having a title part here. So this is also using Pink Paisley Whimsical, and I really loved in the sketch how it had all of these little bits just like tucked in around this main square shape. So I tried to emulate that here with some scraps, and even using some little like ephemera scraps where it's like where you'd punch out the ephemera piece and it has this little frame. So these photos are just photos of me and my husband. This is me just like working from home, and I took some cute pictures of us. So this is from like 2 different days, but I just figured I'd document it all together on one page. I got to use some doilies here as well, which is always nice to like use that from my stash. And yeah, just like tucked in a lot of different scraps here. Next, this is my last page that I needed to make for our Colorado trip that I've been documenting. So I still need to do my journaling here, but this one is just called So Long CO for Colorado. This is using Vicky Bouton Fernwood and Honey and Spice paper. So I just cut it in half and paper piece that together. This is also using some Maggie Holmes open book journaling cards and a little bit of ephemera and then some random stickers from my stash. So this layout is just using some postcards that I picked up on our trip, which I think is a great tip if you are not the best at getting photos or you want to have some more like scenic photos but you're not able to take them yourself. Just get some postcards and just make a layout out of that. So this page I'm going to document kind of just my feelings and thoughts on the whole trip, just kind of summarizing how that went. So I still need to do my journaling on that here. Next, this is layout number 5, and this one is just called Smile. This is using Maggie Holmes Flourish. That's another collection I kind of like dug out of my stash and wanted to really focus on this past month. So I was using the day 6 for Follow a Sketch February, and I just used this side of this double page sketch for the photos that I had. So I'm using that sketch, and this is all just Maggie Holmes Flourish. Glad to get some more elements and papers used up from that collection. And I did a white base for my background, which I don't usually do. So that was kind of a departure from the ordinary for me. And I just really like how it came out and having that little white space to break up these big, bold patterns. And these are just some selfies that I took when I had gotten my haircut. So it's kind of like a before and after back in January of 2021. Next, I need to go in and figure out when we actually took these pictures, but this is a layout documenting some new headshots I got from work. I believe it was in 2020, but I don't remember the date that we did it, so I have to go back and find that so I can figure out where to put it in my album, because I do my scrapbook albums chronologically, even though I don't scrapbook chronologically. This one is just titled Beautiful, and it is using Maggie Holmes Flourish again. I just wanted to really use up a lot of the big floral pieces on this page. And this was a sketch that I found on Pinterest that was from Pear Tree Cut Files, and it was attributed to Evelyn Schmidtke, I think is her name. So yeah, these were just headshots that I took at work. I loved this dress and the coral color, so I wanted to kind of play that up in the papers and the ephemera that I used. But glad to get that documented as well. I just need to figure out when this was. Next, this is another Follow a Sketch February sketch. This is day 18, so it has 2 photos and then a bunch of strips. And I used a lot of scraps on this page. So this one we're just calling Happy Heart Day, and it's using Simple Stories Happy Hearts. I also got some doilies on this page and some glitter paper scraps, as well as some mixed media in the background, which mostly got covered up, but I do like the little pops of it poking out of the sides. And these are just documenting photos of me and my husband. We had went out for brunch for Valentine's Day. It was kind of like the weekend before Valentine's Day. So yeah, I got to use up a lot of like Valentine's Day themed things, which felt great, and used up some of the like more like food related items on this page as well. And I really like how this collection has a lot of blue in it because my photos are with a lot of the blue in the photos. So it was nice to be able to incorporate that as well. Next, this one is called Vintage Love. This is layout number 8, and this is using Maggie Holmes Flourish, as well as one piece that I just put on there like after the fact from Simple Stories My Story, because I had picked out using this collection, Maggie Holmes Flourish, because I was like, oh, I know there's a little flower truck piece in that collection. And then it turns out I had already used that piece after I'd like already done my whole layout. So I kind of use this collection for no reason, but I still think it went really well with the theme of this page. So this is using a sketch from Mercy Tierra, And I made this section here a shaker, so that was one of my shakers for the month. And this is documenting some photos of me and my mom. We went out to this kind of like vintage market thing that kind of tours around the country. It's not very like vintage, it's more kind of like vintage themed. But they had a flower truck here, so I thought that was cute to take a photo of, and I was able to add this flower truck piece here. Next, this is also using Follow a Sketch February. So this is what the sketch looked like, and I followed that pretty much, except my photo is smaller. So this is just titled Flea Market, and it's using the Simple Stories Flea Market collection. And I am out at a flea market, so that was perfect for documenting this photo. So I just wanted to really bring out the yellow in my shirt. This shirt has some like sunflowers on it, so this paper was perfect, I think, for tying that in. And yeah, I just really love this collection, so I did a couple more layouts while I had this collection out. So this is another Simple Stories Flea Market collection layout. This is my layout number 10, and this is the sketch that I used from Follow a Sketch February. So I follow that pretty much, except how these photos are oriented is different. So this is, again, just also using Simple Stories Flea Market. I did a shaker here and used some washi here. And this photo is kind of boring. It's just a photo of this pipe, but I wanted to document when we had our first home repair that we had to do. So basically there was a leak in our wall, a pipe had burst and was just like running water into the ground. Thankfully it did not like damage our house at all, but it was just like pouring water into the ground, and we had a super high water bill one month because of that. And I just kept hearing like water running in the wall, so that was just, you know, something to document as first time homeowners when we had our first home repair that we had to deal with. So I just tried to use a lot of like kind of home themed items on here. I love this word from this collection and just the font of it, and it was just perfect. I feel like this really spiced up a very boring photo and allowed me to tell that story in a more interesting way. So this next layout, I actually did the double page layout, which I don't normally do double page layouts. Again, this is from Follow a Sketch February. So let me kind of orient this to where you can see it. So this is one half and this is the other half. So there's this side and then this side. And these are documenting photos of my dad's 61st birthday. So it's just titled Happy 61st Birthday, Dad. And I got to play with my texture paste that I've gotten and my stencils. So I made these papers using that texture paste and stencil. So that was a really fun thing to play with. This is also using some Simple Stories Birthday Bash for the little ephemera bits. Birthday Blast is what it's called, sorry. So this was kind of one of my big mixed media projects for the month. And I didn't use any pattern paper, which is like very unusual for me. So I used some solid cardstock, and then I made this other paper that has the pattern on it. So yeah, really glad to get that done and playing around with some different mixed media techniques. That was a lot of fun. And then this is my last layout for the month of February, and I just used this side of this double page sketch from Follow a Sketch February. So this one is just titled My Story, and it is documenting me on my first day back at our office in 2020. So I wanted to kind of play with the colors that are in this photo, like the orange of my mask, without it being like Halloween themed, because it's not really about Halloween. I just have a Halloween mask on. So this is using the Simple Stories My Story collection, and I got some more washi on this page. Basically I was able to journal and document my thoughts on just like returning back to the office in 2020, which was very weird. And I loved getting to use a bunch of different elements on this page. I even used some of the brads, which I don't normally use brads, so that was fun. And that is the last layout I was able to create in February. So I got 13 layouts done, if you're counting a double page layout as 2 layouts, which I'd like to do. So great progress this month, and I'll see you all again in the next crafty video. Let me know below which layout is your favorite. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Bye!